Imagine a civilization so old, it makes the pyramids look like they were built last Tuesday. That's China for you. It's a land where history isn't just something you read in textbooks, it's woven into the very fabric of everyday life. From bustling megacities to serene rice paddies, echoes of the past resonate everywhere. We're talking about a continuous story spanning over 4,000 years. That's a lot of emperors, inventions, and dramatic plot twists. China's story is one of grand dynasties, powerful rulers, and game-changing inventions. Think gunpowder, paper, and noodles. Yes, the world owes China a big thank you for those. But it's not just about emperors and innovations. It's about the resilience and spirit of the Chinese people. They've seen it all, periods of incredible prosperity and times of unimaginable turmoil. Through it all, their culture endured, evolving and adapting, much like a kung fu master perfecting their craft. This is the epic tale of China, a journey through time that's as fascinating as it is complex. Buckle up, because we're about to dive headfirst into the long march of Chinese history. Our story begins in a time shrouded in myth and legend, the time of the 3 sovereigns and 5 emperors. These weren't your average rulers, mind you. Think of them as China's superhero origin story, filled with divine beings who taught humans agriculture, writing, and how to make a mean silk robe. Next up, we meet the Jia dynasty. Now, these guys were the OGs, the pioneers of Chinese civilization. Problem is, solid evidence of their existence is about as common as a Yeti sighting. Still, legends persist, painting a picture of a dynasty that laid the groundwork for what was to come. Then came the Shang dynasty, and with them, things start to get real. We're talking archaeological evidence, folks. Bronze vessels, jade artifacts, and oracle bones that give us a glimpse into their beliefs and rituals. Turns out they were rather fond of asking their ancestors for advice, especially before major battles or business deals. Finally, we arrive at the Zhou dynasty, the longest-lasting dynasty in Chinese history. Talk about staying power. They gave us the concept of the mandate of heaven, basically a divine right to rule. But with the caveat that if things went south, well, heaven might just find itself a new favorite. The Zhou era also saw the rise of Confucianism and Taoism, 2 philosophies that would shape Chinese thought for millennia to come. Fast forward to the Warring States period, a time so chaotic it would make a mosh pit look like a picnic. This era was a real head-scratcher for everyone involved. It was during this time that a real go-getter named Qin Shi Huang decided enough was enough. He unified China, declared himself the first emperor, and promptly outlawed things like feudalism and dissenting opinions. Efficient, if a tad ruthless. Qin Shi Huang was a man with a plan, and that plan involved standardizing everything from weights and measures to the written language. Oh, and he also decided to build a little something we now call the Great Wall of China. Sure, it was meant to keep out invaders, but one suspects he also wanted to avoid any awkward neighborly disputes. After the Qin came the Han Dynasty, a period so influential that even today, many Chinese people refer to themselves as Han. This was a golden age of sorts, marked by territorial expansion, trade along the Silk Road, and enough inventions to make Thomas Edison jealous. Papermaking, anyone? After the Han Dynasty, China went through a bit of a rough patch. Think of it as a collective dynastic hangover after the excesses of the previous era. But like a phoenix rising from the ashes, or a dumpling steaming in a bamboo basket, China bounced back with the arrival of the Sui dynasty, who get bonus points for unifying the country again and starting work on the Grand Canal. But it was the Tang dynasty that really stole the show. This was China's golden age, a time of unprecedented prosperity, artistic brilliance, and technological innovation. The capital city, Chang'an, was a cosmopolitan metropolis that drew scholars, merchants, and poets from far and wide. Think of it as the New York City of its day, but with better silk and less traffic. The Tang loved a good party, and their reign was marked by lavish festivals, groundbreaking poetry, and stunning ceramics. They even invented gunpowder, though they probably didn't realize at the time that it would one day be used to make fireworks and not just, blow things up. Then came the Song Dynasty, another period of cultural flowering, albeit with a slightly more introspective vibe. The Song were all about that scholarly life. They perfected the art of printing, invented paper money, because carrying around strings of copper coins gets old, and created exquisite landscape paintings that still inspire awe today. From conquest to commerce, the Yuan and Ming dynasties. Just when it seemed like things couldn't get any more refined, a fellow named Genghis Khan and his Mongol hordes rode in from the steppes. The Mongols weren't known for their delicate sensibilities, but they were excellent horsemen and even better conquerors. They established the Yuan dynasty, unifying China under their rule and opening up trade routes across Eurasia like never before. Think of it as globalization, 13th century style. However, even the mightiest of empires eventually crumble. The Yuan dynasty gave way to the Ming dynasty, who, after politely showing the Mongols the door, set about restoring China's imperial glory. The Ming emperors were keen builders, and they left their mark with impressive structures like the Forbidden City in Beijing, a sprawling palace complex that makes Buckingham Palace look like a garden shed. The Ming dynasty also saw China reasserting its dominance in the seas, thanks to the voyages of Admiral Zheng He. He led a massive fleet of treasure ships on expeditions that reached as far as Africa, bringing back exotic goods and tales that would make even the most seasoned sailor raise an eyebrow. The dragon slumber, the Qing dynasty, and a time of turmoil. As the Ming dynasty began to lose its luster, hey, even dynasties need a good spa day now and then, a new power emerged from the north, the Manchus. They swept in, established the Qing dynasty, and promptly banned queues, which must have been a relief for anyone who'd ever struggled to style their hair. The early Qing emperors were no slouches. They expanded the empire, patronized the arts, and generally tried to live up to the legacy of their predecessors. But as time went on, the Qing found themselves facing a whole new set of challenges. Enter the Europeans, with their insatiable appetites for tea, silk, and, unfortunately, opium. The Opium Wars that followed were a humiliating blow to China, forcing it to open its doors to foreign trade and cede control of key ports like Hong Kong. It was a rude awakening for a civilization that had long considered itself the center of the world. China awakened. Revolution, reform, and the rise of a nation. By the early 20th century, the Qing dynasty was on its last legs. Centuries of internal strife, foreign pressure, and a severe case of "we've been in power too long" syndrome had taken their toll. The stage was set for revolution. Cue the year 1911 and the Xinhai Revolution led by Sun Yat-sen, a revolutionary who sported a mean Western suit and an even bolder vision for a new China. The revolution toppled the Qing dynasty and ushered in the Republic of China, but establishing a stable government proved to be trickier than assembling IKEA furniture. Then came World War II, which hit China particularly hard. Amidst the chaos and devastation, a new power emerged, the Chinese Communist Party, led by a charismatic revolutionary named Mao Zedong. After a long and bloody civil war, the Communists emerged victorious, and in 1949, Mao declared the founding of the People's Republic of China. The Middle Kingdom in the modern world, a legacy that endures. The decades that followed were a time of immense change and upheaval. Mao's Great Leap Forward, an attempt to rapidly industrialize China, led to widespread famine and economic disaster. The Cultural Revolution, a period of intense social and political upheaval, left lasting scars on Chinese society. But even amidst these challenges, China continued to evolve. After Mao's death in 1976, Deng Xiaoping took the helm, initiating a series of economic reforms that would transform China into the global powerhouse it is today. Think special economic zones, foreign investment, and a whole lot of manufacturing. Today, China stands as a global giant, a nation grappling with the complexities of its past, while forging ahead into an uncertain future. Its economy is booming, its cities are pulsating with energy, and its people are embracing new opportunities with characteristic zeal. The story of China is far from over. It's a story that continues to unfold, full of contradictions, challenges, and triumphs. And one thing's for sure, the Middle Kingdom will continue to shape the world for centuries to come.